Becoming a millionaire. For most of us, it sounds like this far-off, impossible dream, right? Something for lottery winners or tech geniuses. But what if the road to $1 million net worth wasn't some big secret? Today, we're diving into a source that says it's not just possible, but that there's actually a clear playbook to follow. So let's break it down.
And let's be real, this is how it feels a lot of the time, doesn't it? You hear stories about someone who bought the right crypto coin at the perfect moment, or just happened to be in the right place at the right time for some huge opportunity. It's so easy to look at all that wealth and just write it off as pure random luck. But the source material for this explainer asks a really interesting question. What if, besides all the luck, there are actual strategies? I'm not talking about those sketchy get-rich-quick schemes, but, real learnable shortcuts and principles that pretty much anyone can use. That's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so first things first, we have to get super clear on what we're actually trying to achieve. The word rich, well, it can mean a whole lot of different things to different people.
Our source uses a perfect analogy for this, the game of Monopoly. Being ultra-rich, we're talking $100 million or more. That's like the very end of a Monopoly game. Yeah, you own the whole board, but it's super stressful. You're just trying to not lose your money, and let's face it, you're constantly worried. The goal we're focusing on is way different. It's being financially free. Hitting that $1 million mark, this is about having the freedom to live with less stress, to buy what you need, without making your entire life about chasing the next dollar.
So, with that much more doable goal in mind, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the simple, non-negotiable numbers. This is the basic math you absolutely have to get right. The whole entire game is measured by just one number, your net worth. And it's actually super simple. It's all your assets, the cash, the stocks, your house, minus all your liabilities. That's any debt you owe. When what you own minus what you owe is more than $1 million, boom, you are officially a millionaire. That's it. All right, so let's do a quick pop quiz that comes from our source. Let's say you did it. You started a business, you worked your tail off, and you made $1 million. It is sitting right there in your bank account. So the question is, are you a millionaire? Have you made it?
And the answer, as the source puts it very bluntly, is a hard no. It's a trick question, and the trick is the one thing in life you can never, ever forget: taxes. That $1 million in your bank account, it's not all yours. The tax man is coming, and he wants his cut. So this is so crucial. The first rule of becoming a millionaire is that to keep $1 million, you usually have to make $2 million. Just like that, to be safe, your real target number has doubled. This is the actual goal we're shooting for. Okay, so we've got our goal, $2 million, and we get the math. Now, how in the world do we actually get there? Well, the source breaks it down into 3 main paths you can walk. So, the source lays out these 3 core paths. The first is buying and selling assets, things like real estate that go up in value over time. The other 2 are more about how you earn your money day to day. You can either take the traditional route, get a stable, high-paying job, or you can go down the high-risk, high-reward path of starting your own business. Now, let's actually compare those last 2, because this is a really fundamental choice you have to make. As you can see here, a job, it's low risk, high stability. You're pretty much guaranteed to succeed if you just show up and do the work. A business, though, is the total opposite: high risk, low stability. In fact, the source points out that the average person fails 5 or 6 times before they even get it right. It's that classic tortoise versus the hare story. But here's the cool part. No matter which path you choose, there's a concept that acts like a cheat code. It's a way to multiply your results and just amplify everything you do. And that concept is leverage. This illustrates the idea so perfectly. Leverage is just about getting way more output for the same amount of input. The source uses this seesaw analogy, and it's brilliant. If you try to lift a heavy rock by pushing down close to the center, you're not going to move it much. But if you go all the way to the end of the board and push with the exact same effort, you can send that rock flying. The goal is to always be pushing from the end. In business, leverage usually shows up in 3 main ways, which you can see in this pyramid. At the bottom, the base, you've got labor. That's hiring other people to do work for you. One step up is capital, using money, whether it's yours or someone else's, to invest and make more money. But at the very top, the most powerful forms of leverage today are code and media, using technology to automate things or using media to reach thousands, even millions of people at once. These are the ultimate force multipliers. So we have the goal, we have the math, the paths, and the cheat code. But what's the engine that actually powers this whole thing? What makes the money machine actually run? Well, the secret is value.
This right here, this is the core idea from our source. All money, doesn't matter if it's from a job or a business, it's just an exchange. It's payment for solving someone else's problem. You don't chase the money directly. You focus on solving a problem, on providing real value, and the money just follows. It's a natural result.
And if you want to make more money, the source gives us 5 pro tips for increasing your value. Number 1, solve a bigger problem. 2, solve that problem faster than anybody else. 3, make the solution incredibly easy for your customer. 4, guarantee that your solution actually works. And finally, number 5, sell that amazing guaranteed solution to customers who have more money to spend in the first place. And this chart shows exactly why that matters so much. Look at this. To make $100,000 a year selling a $2 product, you need to find 50,000 customers. 50,000. But if you create a super high-value $2,000 product that solves a huge problem, you only need to find 50 customers. Same income, but for dramatically less effort. That is the power of value. So this all brings us to one last, kind of brilliant observation from the source. If we take this logic all the way to its extreme, what if you didn't find 50 customers? What if you just found one really high-value client and you dedicated all your time to solving their problems for, say, $100,000 a year?
Well, that is called getting a job. And this just perfectly ties everything together. Even a regular job is just an exchange of value. You're basically selling a high-ticket, all-inclusive solution to one big client, your employer. It brings the whole idea full circle. So at the end of the day, the path to $1 million isn't about some secret formula or just getting lucky. It's about understanding a framework for creating value. The source material gives us the how, but the final question it leaves us with is the one that really matters. It's not about how to make money, it's about what problem you are going to solve. What value will you create for the world? That is the real starting line.